Hi guys, welcome back to Dan's Reef, and today we are here to look at my Waterbox Frag 145.5. This is going to be the 10 and 11 month update review on the tank, so we're going to have a look in a minute and what's going on. Apologies for it being another combined 2 months. It's just that after the move that I had from when it came over, I've just been really busy and time is just elapsing. But on the 6th of April, around the 6th of April, which is coming up, it would have been a full year since the Waterbox 85.3 was set up. So when we moved from the Fluval M90 into the 3-foot 85.3 Frag, April, which is coming up, that's going to be an exact year since that was moved over into that tank. So effectively, although this has been running, the rock work and everything has been running more than a year, but from Waterbox to Waterbox, it would have been a full year of setup really, and most of the corals have been in for that length of time. So there's been a couple of updates. So, I mean, the main updates with the tank is it's still running great. Everything's still really good. I'm still battling white spot, and I've had a couple of like mares of that, I'd say, but in the main, it's almost gone. So I'd say I'm still dosing Polylab. I've got a bigger UV on this tank now. I'm still running the old UV as well. So I've got 2 UV sterilizers on the go at the minute. They're running really low flow through them, just to try and help and just mitigate the ick. But still dosing Polylab. That's almost coming to an end, and the fish have barely got any spots on at all, so they're looking a lot better. Still really healthy, eating like pigs, all the rest of it. I did buy a quarantine tank because the point about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was looking at pulling the fish out and doing a separate quarantine and letting the tank go fallow. That still might happen, that still might be the case, but I brought a little 2-foot 60 centimetre tank, and you know what it's like when you bring something in the house, you place it down, and I was supposed to just leave it alone, and then what happens is you end up moving it here, there and everywhere in this room. And I moved it the one afternoon, I just sort of moved that out of the way because it was in the way. It accidentally leant up against, my daughters have got like a gymnast bar, so it accidentally leant up against that, and it cracked the one side of the tank. So the QT tank I brought for that ended up just going out and in the bin. I couldn't fix it. It was just too badly gone. So that put an end to that. What else happened? And then about a week ago, I started doing my normal weekly water change. So I started making my RO water, as you do. This was on a Saturday. Put the RO container on, and then stupidly rushing around trying to go out sort of midday, we ended up going out the house about 40 minutes away, and we were out for about an hour. It was only when I got back in the car to come home I realised that I'd not switched off the RO unit at all. It was still filling, so I was racing back home with the family to try and see what damage I was going to come back to. I'd worked out, because I was sort of working out in my head how long it would have been overflowing for, and it was around about an hour it was overflowing out the container. And I've got my unit's 150 gallons a day unit, so it's not the fastest, but it's, you know, when it's coming out leaking, it's still enough to make an absolute mess. So I came home, walked in the door, and in the hallway next to me, it come out the downstairs loo, which is where my unit is, and it had worked its way in the hallway. It had gone into the kitchen, and it had done most of the water, ended up in the kitchen, to be fair. So it was a little bit of a clean-up operation doing that. We spent about an hour. I spent about an hour and a half mopping, cleaning, drying. So that wasn't great. And then about what happened, so 2 days ago, I just finished doing a talk online. It was with the ReefyAf group. I've literally just finished doing that stream, and I will put a link below to where you can watch that. But I just finished that. I just threw some food in the tank. Didn't think anything of it. I've got a little feeder up on this corner, so I just put my frozen food in there. Walked back through to the kitchen, And in that time, I don't know how it happened, but in that time, my long-nosed butterfly had come out, had just jumped on the floor, was down literally where I'm sat, was just on the floor. So as I came walking back in, I could just see this yellow fish on the floor, and I was just thinking, oh my God. So you know what it's like, you rush over, pick the fish up, get it back in as possible. There wasn't any, I think he did lose a little bit of his slime coat, but I got him back in quickly. He was probably out for about 10 seconds, if that, and he was absolutely fine. So, I mean, thankfully, I said I have got a lid for this tank. I do always keep the lid on it. It just, for whatever reason, I've been in over the weekend and had the lid off all weekend, no problem. Just, I don't know what it was. I don't know if he just went up for the food and tried to go over onto the top of it and maybe come out. I don't really know. But anyway, so I had that. That was a little bit, you know, that was a bit stressy, because obviously I didn't really want to lose the fish, because he's one of my favourite fish that I've had to date, and it's not that hard to see why when you see him swimming around. I said he's such a cool fish. One, he's not very shy. The tangs are still a little bit shy in this tank, but him, he's just an absolute, you know, absolute class fish. He's always out, never shy, always comes up to the glass, and he comes and sort of sees you, which is nice to read. I mean, as far as like fish go, you can't ask for any better than that. But so yeah, that happened. I'm trying to think what else has been updated really. So I'm no longer on the Red Sea 4-part dosing. I'm now on the NIOS full range of dosing, and that's been being dosed for the last last 2 weeks. Excuse me. So early days. We'll see how that goes. But coral wise, we've had growth. We were having growth on the Red Sea 4-part, to be fair, but when I was doing calculations on running this tank, the NIOS just seemed a better option cost-wise for dosing, and I'll go through that in a different video of what I found to do with the cost of it. It just looked like it was going to cost a lot cheaper to run. So, and I'm not, you know, when you're sort of dosing stuff in your tank, it's not generally that exciting, as long as it keeps your parameters where, you know, your numbers where you want them to be. You just want to do that effectively for the least amount of money as possible. So I've gone to NIOS, and as I said, I'll do a separate video on that, explaining what it is and what I'm dosing, and just see if I see any general differences between that and the Red Sea 4-part. But we'll see. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll take you off now, and I'll just give you a quick walk around, look over the tank, and we'll go from there. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching to this point. And as I said, I think there's been a few new subscribers, so thanks to the guys that have subscribed and the ones that have been following for quite a while. So as I said, if you've got any questions after when we've gone through the walkthrough, just put them down in the comments and I'll reply to you. But let's take a closer look. Thanks a lot. Right, so here we go, guys. I'll just take you in and we'll have a little closer look. Excuse the reflections, but the organ pipe coral, that's still looking really good. Got a few Asterina starfish at the back there, but look, I've got loads of baby snails at the minute. You'll see some on the back wall, but there's generally, because I did a water change yesterday and cleaned the back wall, I tend to just brush them off. They go down to the substrate and then they end up just sort of crawling their way back up. I've got loads of baby snails. So yeah, the organ pipe coral is still doing really good. I've still got loads of vermitted snails. They are all over everything, as you can see on the rockwork. There's no getting away by how many that I've got. So I've got some bumblebee snails on order, and they should be here in the next couple of days, and I'll see if they can start to make a bit of a dent in it. But got a little bit of Kenya tree there that was fragged. That's just on a frag plug. Some bit more growth on the zoas at the back. I've got the mushroom up there, which I saved. That was like really small, but yeah, he wasn't very big at all. So quite nice. I've managed to save him. He's actually quite a good size now. Candy canes still growing, which is nice. There's the yellow long-nosed butterfly looking nice. And then the two SBS frags. These are just the test frags. I don't know. fairly certain what the orange one is. I'm still not 100% sure what the green one is or a variant of, but as you can see, we've got some good growth on the orange and a bit more growth on the green one, so they're still doing really, really good. The zoas down here, branching out more. They're sort of, you know, getting there. Still really slow though, to be fair with those. They've been in for quite a long time now. The main Kenya tree at the back is doing really, really well. Those zoas down there, they're sulking a little bit because I think just because of the Poddy Lab still, they're not that happy. But I think what I'm going to do with the zoas is I'm going to consolidate and I'm going to put them all off the main rock and I'm going to put them onto their own island. So I'm currently looking at lighting options on this tank, so I'm in two minds whether to get another set of the TMC Reef photons, which I do really like because, you know, they give a nice shimmer, which is similar to what you get on Kessels, but I do need to get another dual set of them on here as a minimum really. But I'm looking at another brand of lighting, and I'm just sort of umming and ahhing at the minute what to get. But if we do a down the tank shot, you can see there, it's looking quite nice and clear. But yeah, as I said, filtration wise, you'll be surprised on this. I mean, for that, you know, I'll go again, but for that sort of clarity in there, if I show you in a minute what the filtration is at the moment on this tank, you may or may not be a little bit surprised. But as I said, the clarity in there is really, really nice, and I'm not doing anything particularly special. But what I'll do, I'll show you the sump really quickly, and then we'll go from there. Right, to update this side, guys, nothing really much changed. I've still got to do some husbandry with the wiring, etc. You can see my two main NIOS containers there, ATO reservoirs stood in that side, and then this side for the main bulk, again, needs a little bit of cleaning up, but it's I'm not running the cover on my original UV sterilizer. I'm just leaving that off at the moment. But as you can see, because the because the Clarity SK3000 that came with this tank didn't work, I haven't bothered running anything bar just a fine filter sock, which is that puppy in there. So, you know, what's the pros of that? Obviously it keeps it simple. You know, apart from that and the skimmer, there's no other filtration on this tank at the moment. Excuse me, just like to keep it simple as really, even if I had a filter holder on there. The downside to that is you will get bits of crap detritus coming through down the overflow, but and the skimmer needs taken out and cleaning. That's gone a bit caked up. But generally, yeah, so that's the original UV that I ran on the 85.3, and I wanted a new UV, so I wanted to get the DD 38 watt unit when I was trying to bulk up the UV for the white spot, just to try and help that. But I couldn't find any of the two or three retailers I tried. They're all out of stock. So, but I needed to put something on more powerful. So yeah, I needed to put something on more powerful, and I was just out of options really. I needed something big. I didn't really like the Aquamedic UV sterilizers. Just didn't really. They're quite bulky. Didn't really fancy trying that, and then in the end, just because of limitations on what I could get, I ended up going with a TMC Titan 850. So that's what I ended up going for. I'm just running that on a separate Hager pump at the moment, which is just in there. So nothing too exciting, but I am still running both. I'm either long term, I'm either going to get another DD one and run the pair, or I might even buy another 850 and I'll run them in tandem. So I'll just have the one linked up to the other, and I'll probably end up running two. And then if that's the case, it'll probably be about 50 watts of, or just over 50 watts of UV. So that's what I'm, you know, that's where I'm at the minute with that. But as you can see, bearing in mind the sump does need a little bit of a clean. I do tend to, when I run filtration this way, I do tend to do it every couple of months anyway. But you know, as I said, when you look at the actual water itself, it's you know, even if you run a filter roller, it probably would be a little bit cleaner than that, but it's, you know, for me, for what I like looking at, it's pretty decent, I find. But so yeah, tank's still looking really nice. I'll do an update on the NIOS dosing, and I'll do another update when I get some more lighting on the tank. But I just wanted to get this one out, and just so you guys can have an update. But yeah, the fish in general, all doing really well. And as I said, that yellow longnose is still by far my favourite fish I think I've had to date. So he's doing really well, still eating like a pig. Tommen is still doing really good, and so is the bristle-tooth. So they're all happy as Larry, or as happy as they can be stuck in a glass box. But anyway, that's it guys, till the next one, see you soon.